Director of the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Centre, Consul General of India in Durban, Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi, Dr. Shobna Pandey, Dr. Bisram Rambilas, Ms. Akshaya Vigneshwaran, Mr. Piyush Khandalwal, Mr. Sipive Mchunu, distinguished guests, online viewers, Namaskar, welcome to a very important day indeed. Today is Sanskrit Diwas, with the theme being role and importance of Sanskrit in a modern digital world. World Sanskrit Day or Sanskrit Diwas is known as Vishwa Samskrita Dinam. Uh, is an annual event focused around the ancient Indian language of Sanskrit that incorporates lectures about the language and is aimed to promote uh, its revival and maintenance. It is celebrated on Shravana Purnima, and that is the full moon day of Shravan month in the Hindu calendar. The Sanskrit organization, um, the Sanskrit organization Samskrita Bharti is involved in promoting this day. Shravani Purnima or Raksha Bandhan is considered to be the festival of remembrance and worship of sages and the worship for their dedication. In Vedic literature, it was called Shravani. On this day, before the study of Vedas in the Gurukulas, the sacred thread is worn, and the rishis are the original source of the Sanskrit language. Indeed, to commence today's program, I would like to invite our first guest speaker, and that's Miss Akshaya Vigneshwaran. Just a little bit about Akshaya ji. Akshaya ji is formerly from India and currently residing in South Africa. She has studied masters in computer science and basic as Sanskrit as a basic language. She is presently teaching and tutoring computer science and mathematics for high school students. Namaste and welcome, Ms. Akshaya Vigneshwaran, on Sanskrit Diwas for your remarks.
Thank you so much, Srishti ji. I'd like to start this program with the small Sanskrit slokam. It's for the Guru Dakshinamurti, when the God for all the gods. This sloka says, we just like to start with this one slokam. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva tvameva bandhushya saha tvameva vidyam dravinam tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Okay. So, it says the sloka is about we thanking and truly giving thanks to God of all the God, that is God Dakshinamurti. So let me start about today's program. Thank you, Dr. Yogi ji, and all the viewers. I'm Akshaya Vigneshwaran, formerly from India. Currently, I'm with my husband and family in South Africa. I have studied computer science, and I've also studied basic Sanskrit language. Today, I like to share some of my views in Sanskrit language. Though I have studied as a language, in the end of my course, I have done some basic readings of Sanskrit. For me, Sanskrit is not only a language, it is an ancient system that has knowledge of all the uh, world's other languages. I like to chant Sanskrit slogas. In the modern world, the Sanskrit plays a major role, but not really spoken. Rather, it already applied in our day-to-day life. It covers all the other science and technology, researches, agriculture, law, ethics, music, dance, Ayurveda, Vedas, in all the other fields. As a human, we all facing lots of obstacles in our daily life. In the end, everyone needs some peace in their life. We just close our eyes and we just want to go and sleep peacefully. So in searching of it, Sanskrit help us to heal. Chanting and listening of Sanskrit slogas help us to keep our mind relaxed. Meditating Om with pranayamam, increasing oxygen level, helps to recover from this pandemic we are all facing today. And in technology wise, the role of Sanskrit, NASA have found a research in Sanskrit and applied the language and grammar for the artificial intelligence. They said Sanskrit is most comfortable language for artificial intelligence. It also helps to create emotional expressed along with the statement in the emotional intelligence. You all know the computer only knows zeros and ones. We the human creating the robots and giving all the information to the uh, robots or other artificial intelligence. So yeah, Sanskrit plays a major role to apply into the emotional and other uh, things to apply to know about the world today. It is easy for NASA to apply the emotional intelligence with the Sanskrit algorithms and the codes. There is no end of Sanskrit and the role it plays all the fields around us. It won't vanish until the world ends. I wish that everyone will cherish the language in future generation. And I like to thank uh, everyone to give me this wonderful opportunity. Uh, thank you for the motivational program. Thank you, Swami Vivekananda Cultural Centre and Consulate General of India in Durban. Uh, keep safe and take care. Happy Samaskritam Day to everyone. Let all save our ancient culture and language. Thank you once again for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Miss Akshaya Vigneshwaran, for sharing your very profound knowledge remarks on this occasion of Sanskrit Diwas with us. Thank you so much, Akshaya ji, for taking out time from your busy schedule and joining us today. Next in the
Thank you.
program, we will
Thank you so
be
much.
next in our program we will be having some shloka chanting by Sanskrit students.
Namaste. My name is Abhay Puran and I am a matric student from the Vessel Boys High School in Durban. So today I will be reciting the Swasti Vachan and Shanti part. I will first start reciting in Sanskrit and thereafter translating to English. Om Swasti na Indra Vredashavaha Swasti na Pusha Vishavedaha Swasti na Shashtayo Arishanemyai Swasti no Brihaspati Dadatu Om Payaya Prithivi Oshadishopayo Divya Antarikshepayo Dada Vayaswati Prasidaha Santu Mahamayam Om Vishnuradavasi Vishnusnapresto Vishnuyurasi Vishnudruvosi Vishnamasi Vishnavetva Om Magnir Devata Vato Devata Suryo Devata Chandrama Devata Vasovo Devata Rudra Devata Ditya Devata Maruto Devata Vishwadevata Brahaspatirdevata Varuno Devatayah Om Dhau Antariksha Gum Shanti Prithvi Shanti, Apa Shanti, Oshadaya Shanti, Vanaspataya Shanti, Vishwe Deva Shanti, Brahma Shanti, Sarvagum Shanti Deva Shanti Shama Shanti Devi Om Vishwani Deva Saviturva Duritani Parasuva Yad Bhadram Tana Asuvaha. So the Shanti part, from the beginning of the Shanti part, it translates to, my Indra, the bestower of fame, give us success, and may Pusha, the Lord of wealth, give us progress. May the sun, Surya, the speed of whose chariot none could decrease, and may Brihaspati bring us success. The next shloka translates to, O God, who is manifest as fire, we appeal that you retain the juices called paya in the earth, and that you give medical essence to food, and that you maintain in this way the liquid substance in heaven and in the upper regions, but for me in the quarters and the intermediate points, let the paya be full of essence. The other shloka translates to, O Kusha, representing Lord Vishnu, your forehead as the holy altar, O monarch, you are the meeting place of the lips of Vishnu. You are the heart of the altar, O knotted rope. You are the firm knot of the holy altar. You are the close associate of Vishnu. I therefore sing your praises and establish my contact with you. The next shloka translates to, O fire, the receptacle of oblations, as you are a form of wind, sun, moon, the 8 vasus be full of essence. The other shloka translates to, O Kusha, representing Lord Vishnu, your forehead as the holy altar, O monarch, you are the meeting place of the lips of Vishnu. You are the heart of the altar, O knotted rope. You are the firm knot of the holy altar. You are the close associate of Vishnu. I therefore sing your praises and establish my contact with you. The next shloka translates to, O fire, the receptacle of oblations, as you are a form of wind, sun, moon, the 8 vasus, the 12 adityas, the 49 marutas, the Vishwadevas, Brihaspati, Indra, Varuna, and other devas. I therefore sing your praise and establish my contact with you. Then the Shanti part translates to, may that peace which pervades heaven and the sky, the earth, water, medicines, trees, plants, shrubs, all the devas, that peace which pervades peace, be mine by your grace. In the last shloka translates to, O Sun, you are intimate with the hearts of all. Remove by your grace all my sins and grant me with success. Namaste.
Thank you so much for that shloka chanting. Our next guest speaker is the renowned Dr. Shobna Pandey-ji, and ma'am is a renowned Sanskrit scholar of South Africa. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking our time from your busy schedule and joining us today. We welcome you for your remarks on this occasion of Sanskrit Diwas. Yes.
Namaskar to one and all. Thank you very much once again for giving us this opportunity of sharing our knowledge and experience. Thank you, Yogi Ji, and my colleague, Dr. Bisram, and nice to see Ms. Akshay and Piyush Ji. So, can I start? The power and perfection of Sanskrit has been known to the people of India since ancient times. Later, Hindu and Buddhist scriptures and literature spread beyond India. These spread from Tibet to Thailand, from Burma to Bali, and even as far as Mongolia. Not only the language, but also the culture was conveyed to these lands. Sanskrit thrives in literature from all parts of India without losing any of its original merit and values. Sanskrit has fixed sounds. In Sanskrit, one pronounces a word exactly as it is written. For example, karma is karma. However, some people to pronounce karma, kama means lust, while karma means deed or action. Correct pronunciation helps to focus the mind during meditation. So one can deduce that there is harmony between word, meaning, and understanding. Even if one does not have a guru or teacher, there are many communication platforms which could be used to listen and see the specific word. The fact that the Vedas, which are composed in Sanskrit, have remained unchanged bears testimony to the scientific and flawless nature of Sanskrit. The hymns of the Vedas and Upanishads required their own proper vehicle for true expression. Sanskrit proved to be the appropriate language for all of these. The complexity of the grammar and synthetic structure of Sanskrit caused people to move away from the language. But it is this very feature that makes Sanskrit important and interesting to creators of software coding languages. The Sanskrit phonetics, alphabet, grammatical rules, and vocabulary are fixed and hence can provide long-term support for digital communication. Sanskrit in digital technology received a boost when the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, that is NASA, considered it suitable for space communication because of its strict grammar rules. Sanskrit is an inflected language. The syntax is ordered, and even if the word order changes, the meaning remains the same. For example, in English we say, the boy eats food. Translated into Sanskrit, it is Balaha Annam Khadati. We could also say Balaha Khadati Annam. But in English, we cannot say the boy food eats. The meaning is determined by its inflected form, either declined or conjugated, rather than the position of a word in a sentence. Sanskrit can play a vital role in digital communication because the meaning and interpretation of a sentence remains the same. Festivals such as Ram Navami, Krishna Astami, and Deepavali all use images that reflect the Sanskrit language and ancient culture. Even in popular Hindu culture, it is not uncommon to see Sanskrit invocations used as greetings on holy days. These have become popular as e-cards and gifts sent on WhatsApp amongst thousands of internet users. Thus, the language and culture is kept alive through observances by Hindus all over the world. Secular and religious literature that were originally written in Sanskrit gradually found their way into the lives of people. The Mahabharata is well known to all Hindus through recounting of the stories by people who heard or read them in the original. The central position of the Bhagavad Gita gives it prominence in most religious organizations. The transmission of Sanskrit through the Bhagavad Gita, therefore, created an interest in the study of Sanskrit. Thus, in spite of the absence of Sanskrit teaching on a formal basis, the Sanskrit is heard, if not learnt. Similarly, by watching the many religious programs such as the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Vignaharta Shri Ganesha, amongst others on television, our people are exposed to Sanskrit words and language. An outstanding personality of Trinidad, Professor H.S. Adesh, used the Ramcharitmanas of Tulsidas to propagate religion. His language employed so much of Sanskrit vocabulary that the people were hearing and learning Sanskrit without realizing it. Sanskrit is the basis of our culture. Sanskrit grants us access to our heritage. The basis of all our rituals are written in Sanskrit. Although people may differ in their religion or philosophy, all Hindus observe life's important milestones by performing the sanskars. And those sanskars are all written in Sanskrit. For our rituals not to become meaningless in the digital world, young people should understand the meaning of the words that accompany the rituals. The mantras are written in Sanskrit and are powerful messages of affirmation. Each mantra grants happiness or success or prosperity or peace. And in order for us to access these blessings, we have to access the language. Prior to the coronavirus epidemic, we had the privilege of access to our elders and priests who guided us on how to practice rites and rituals. Now, because of lockdown restrictions, people don't have direct access to their elders. Even priests cannot come in person to our homes to perform the sanskars directly for us. We have seen people celebrate their milestones via Zoom. This shows how ancient Hindu practices have come into our modern digital world. It is a common fact that our ancient scriptures, such as the Vedas, Puranas, etc., were handed down to us via our seers through the Shrutis and Smritis. Today, the digital world allows us to access all information about our scriptures at the press of a button. Currently, I am doing a Hindu priest course. There is a marked shift in the technique involved in the conducting of the priest course. We don't meet face to face with our gurus, nor do we come in direct contact with the students. Yet we are able to complete our studies in accordance with our syllabus. We are fortunate that we are living in an age when technology is playing such a formidable role in making our interaction very easy and meaningful. Hence, the power of the digital world is bringing everything into our houses with no problem at all. From time immemorial, parents were reliant on priests and other members of the family and friends to provide them with meaningful Sanskrit names for their children. Today, Google supplies us an unending list we could choose from. According to Oxford Languages, the Hindi word for 2020 was Atma Nirbharta. One meaning of this word is self-reliance. Through the lockdown, people have had to be more self-sufficient, self-reliant in all aspects of life, even in conducting pujas and sanskars. This is easier when one has access to the Sanskrit language through Google or the internet. Access to Sanskrit will allow us to derive the meaning and essence of the scriptures and rituals so that we can apply them in our daily life. More importantly, we can pass on our sacred heritage to our children to guard them and guide them in their lives in the modern digital world. Thank you. Namaskar.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Shobna Pandeyji, for those very deep, knowledgeable remarks on this occasion of Sanskrit Diwas. We've got to learn so much more on this beautiful ancient language of Sanskrit by your remarks today. Next, we will be having shloka chanting by a Sanskrit student.
Chapter 2, verse 1 of the Bhagavad Gita. Sanjaya uvacha tham tata kripaya vishtam ashupurna kulekshanam vishidantamidham vakyam uvacha madhusudana. Translation of verse 1. Sanjay said to him, Arjun, thus with pity, overwhelmed, full of tears, distressed, eyes grief-stricken, these words said by Sri Krishna, the slayer of the Madhu demon. Verse 2. Shri Bhagavana Uvacha Kutasva Kashmalam Midham Vishme Sam Upastitam Anarya Jushtamaswargyam Akritikaram Arjuna. Translation of verse 2. The Supreme Lord said, wherefrom to you disillusion this in this hour of peril, overcome crude person, practiced, which does not lead to the higher voids, leading to disgrace, Arjuna. Verse 3. Klebyam masma gamaha parta netatve yupatpadyate kushudram hriday dorbalyam takvotishta parantapa. Translation of verse 3. Unmanliness, do not yield to the son of Pritha, Arjun. Not this to you befitting pity heart weakens giving up. Arise, conqueror of enemies. Verse 4. Arjuna uvacha katam bhishma aham sanke dhyonam cha madhusudana ishubi pratiyotsyami pujarhavari sudana. Translation of verse 4. Arjuna said, how Bhishma, I in battle, Dronacharya, and Sri Krishna, the slayer of the Madhu demon, with arrows shall I shoot, worthy of worship, destroyer of enemies. Verse 5. Guruna hatva himahanubhavan Shriyopoktam Beksham Pihaloke Hatvarta Kamastu Guruniheva Bhunjiya Bhogan Hriday Pradigdan. Translation of verse 5. Teachers, certainly not killing. Noble elders, better to enjoy life by begging even in this world, killing, gain, desiring, but noble elders in this world certainly enjoy the pleasures of blood tainted with.
I hope you all
Thank
enjoyed
you.
that shloka as much as we did. Our next guest speaker also needs no introduction, and that is the renowned Dr. B. Ram Vilas ji. And Dr. Visram Ram Vilas ji is a renowned Sanskrit scholar based in South Africa. Namaste and welcome, Dr. Ramvilas ji, on this occasion of the Sanskrit Diwas. And thank you so much for taking our time from your busy schedule and rendering your remarks today.
Namaste, Srishti, and namaste to everybody. And I am indeed grateful to the head of the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Centre, Mr. Yogi, and of course, all of you, the team of facilitators, and also namaste to Dr. Shobha Pandey. Right. I thank you for inviting me to address you on some aspects of Sanskrit in the modern digital era. All of us who have an interest in Sanskrit appreciate the importance of Sanskrit as the vehicle for the understanding and transmission of Indian belief and value systems, philosophy, culture, the performing and fine arts, mathematics, science, astronomy, engineering, and medicine, which includes Ayurveda. The Vedas, which are the most ancient extant literature of the Indo-European languages, are acknowledged as the primal source of these knowledge systems, which are accessible in the supplementary and complementary treatises. For example, the Brahmanas, which are liturgy, the Upanishads, philosophy, and the Vedangas, which are phonetics, grammar, poetics, prosody, etymology, and a thesaurus. The prerequisites of any computer programming language constitutes elements based on formal language theory like alphabet, grammar, and syntax. The scientific structure of the Sanskrit alphabet and its antiquity as the oldest Indo-European language is highly acclaimed because of an inherent compatibility between the two, that is the Sanskrit language and the computer programming language. According to the site is called www.firstpost.com. Sanskrit is the only human language that has context-free grammar. Shobhaji mentioned that as well. This explains the smooth transition of Sanskrit into a digital era, and not surprisingly, the last international conference in Australia, hosted by the Institute of Sanskrit Studies, was titled Computational Sanskrit and Digital Humanities. The topics included digital lexicons, computational phonology, syntactic analysis, structural semantics, Navya Nyaya, technical language processing, and semantic analysis and information extraction. Under Shastra texts and computations, Panini's Ashtadhyaya and other traditional grammars were included. The conference also included the management of a digital library, which would cover a whole range of literature and digital techniques that would provide easy access to any information in and on Sanskrit, computer applications and software tools for the teaching of Sanskrit also featured in the discussions. The digital era has enabled us to access almost all the literature that is available in Sanskrit, the Indian languages, classical and contemporary music and dance, Hinduism, and Indian philosophy. The spread of COVID offered us the opportunity to use and effectively exploit the various platforms available for the online teaching of these cultural studies. This virtual presentation, this one that we are in now, stands as proof of the innovative ways in which we have become part of the digital era. Vedas and Sanskrit.com, created in South Africa by myself, is a website that has online programs for learning and teaching conversational Hindi and Sanskrit. It includes translations of hymns from the Rig Veda and general information on Hindu Dharma. There are several sites where students of Indian dance and music have access to illustrations, demonstrations, and even performances with a range of options. Sanskrit is used largely during satsangs where popular mantras are chanted and during Hindu ceremonies which are performed in the medium of Sanskrit. Again, my colleague, Dr. Shobha, mentioned this. The virtual satsangs, the important thing is the virtual satsangs, performance of weddings and funerals, which were inconceivable, we never thought at one time, that this would happen. They have now become a reality. And it has had surprising outcomes in how creatively we have managed these events under the trying conditions imposed by the pandemic. Then a very important thing, and I want to conclude on this note, is the importance of dialogue across continents and the importance of Sanskrit, especially in the context of India and Africa. So in conclusion, it is important to place the relevance of Sanskrit in the context of an African-Indian, Afro-Indian dialogue based on a shared universal humanism. The African and Indian cultures are basically defined as universal humanism. The word Ubuntu, U-B-U-N-T-U, Ubuntu, for those of us that may not know, is an African belief system about the relationship of the African with his fellow beings and with his creation. So the word Ubuntu has a parallel word in Sanskrit, Bandhu. You've listened to the verse, Tvameva Mata Cha Pita, Tvameva Bandhuscha. The word Bandhu refers to this and marks the relationship between myself. The words bond, bind come from the word Bandhu. And look at it, the word Bantu, Ubuntu. Bantu as well means human beings. Ubuntu, Umuntu. Look at the close relationship between the two. So the word Ubuntu has a parallel in Sanskrit, Bandhu. Both of them embody, and the dialogue, the Afro-Indian dialogue is based on this universal humanism, and it's all about humans, human beings, humanity, and creation, and the fact that we are inextricably bound. And this bond extends beyond brotherly, sisterly, family, community, and beyond these relations to an inherent kindred spirit. In the African tradition, they call it an inherent kindred spirit, a spirit that permeates all of creation. Now, Dr. Yogi will support this in saying that what is the difference? Both are, cultures that are nature-based. I have an intrinsic bond. The English word bond comes from bandhu, band, bandhana, bind, binding. So this special bond that we have with humanity has its very basis, right? The African tradition, in the Indian tradition, in the word bandhu, right? Gat bandhan, raksha bandhan, and these bonds that we share are brought out in the philosophies and in both in the African and Indian tradition. That bond is the river, the mountain, the seas, the sky. And it is this dialogue that the digital era, and that is one of the things that we are going to engage in, we bring the world together in this common belief system between the Indian and African continents so that we can use the digital era to take Sanskrit to an even higher level and make it something pertinent and relevant to our cultures and to the kind of dialogue that we urgently need, especially today, given the circumstances in South Africa, to bind us together as communities. Namaste. Thank you very much.
Indeed, thank you so much, Dr. Ramvilas ji, for sharing that very insightful knowledge with us on this beautiful language of Sanskrit on the occasion of Sanskrit Diwas and Raksha Bandhan. Next in our program, we will be having some shloka chanting by Sanskrit students.
Namaste and Hari Om. This is Pungeka, one of the inmates of the Sarvadharma Ashram and a student of the Arya Samaj, who has also been to India a few years back. She is going to recite a little slok for us. And Bongeka is doing grade 11. She's the goal and aim is to become a doctor so that she can serve the poor and needy. So we wish her everything of the best. So Bongeka, it's all yours.
Om Ayanta Itma Atma Jata Vedasya Netya Sacheta Vardaya Jasman Prajaya Pashupi Brahma Varjasen Anadina Samedaya Swaha Idam Agnayi Jata Vedasya Idanna Mama. This Agni is the soul of all creation. May it invigorate. May this life-giving energy spread and be increased. Let there be progress. Bless us with children, animals, the laughter of knowledge, food, and other basic needs. This oblation is for all-pervading Agni. It is not mine. All our material belongings come from the elements. We are mindful that they are not really ours. Om Utputya Swa Agni Pratijagrahi Tomista Puti Sansrichita Mayancha Asmin Sataste Atutarasmin Vishwe Devaya Jamanasya Sitata. O God, the bright, expansive heavens and the great earth spread wide in your glory. It is in your praise that this fire is rekindled on the lap of this earth, so that oblations be made to you. May we be granted food and grain. Namaste.
Thank you so much for that shloka chanting. With that, we've come to the conclusion of today's celebration of Sanskrit Diwas. I would like to take this opportunity to wish you all a happy Sanskrit Diwas and Raksha Bandhan. I would like to now invite Mr. Sipire Mchunu from the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Centre at the Consulate General of India in Durban to render this evening's vote of thanks.
Namaskar.
Namaste.
All of you. On behalf of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Centre at the Consulate General of India in Durban, I am honored today to deliver a vote of thanks on today's program, Sanskrit Diwas, under the theme Role and Importance of Sanskrit in Modern Digital World. Allow me to thank our online guests who took part on today's program, Ms. Akshaya Vigneshwaran, an IT graduate and Sanskrit scholar from Durban, for her wonderful remarks on Sanskrit Diwas. Secondly, allow me to thank Dr. Shobana Pandey, a renowned Sanskrit scholar from South Africa, for her wonderful remarks on today's program. Lastly, Dr. Bishram Ramvilas, he is also a renowned scholar from South Africa, for his wonderful remarks on Sanskrit Diwas. To all of them, Akshay ji, Shobana ji, Basram ji, Danyabat for taking part on today's program. To Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi, Director of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Centre, Sristi Harinarayan, Sri Piyush Kandilwal, Danyavat for taking part on today's program. To all those who took part online, we'd like to say Danyavat again for taking part on today's program. You are kindly advised to visit our Facebook page, ICCR Durban, for all cultural updates organized by Swami Vivekananda Cultural Centre in Durban. Once again, to Miss Akshaya Vigneshwaran ji, Dhanyavad ma'am, Dr. Shobana Pandeyji, Dhanyavad ma'am, and Dr. Bisram Rambiras ji. Thank you very much, Dhanyavad sir. To all of you, have a wonderful evening. Namaskar.